Hi boys and girls. In this video I'm going to be reading you guys another folk tale from the continent Africa. So just like Anansi the spider, this is another folk tale that comes from that big continent of Africa. And this one comes from the country of Nigeria. Some of you guys might have heard of that country before. Now remember, when we've talked about folk tales, we know that folk tales are fun stories that teach us about what people in different cultures and places believe. We read our Native American folktale earlier in the year about why the sun is in the sky. We read our Anansi story, and that tells us why the moon is in the sky. So folktales are oftentimes fun stories that people have made up to explain why things happen or why things are the way that they are. So this story that I'm going to read for you guys today is about lightning and thunder. Now, this is a story that doesn't have any pictures, so you're going to have to listen carefully and make that picture in your mind. So while Miss Carson is reading, maybe close your eyes and try to picture all of the words that I am saying in this story. So this is called The Story of the Lightning and the Thunder. It's a Nigerian folktale. In the olden days, the thunder and lightning lived on earth amongst all the other people, but the king made them live at the far end of town, as far as possible from other people's houses. The thunder was an old mother sheep, and the lightning was her son, a ram. Whenever the ram got angry, he used to go about and burn houses, knock down trees. He even did damage on the farms and sometimes killed people. Whenever the lightning did these things, his mother used to call out to him in a very loud voice to stop and not to do any more damage. But the lightning did not care in the least for what his mother said, and when he was in a bad temper, he used to do a very large amount of damage. At last, the people couldn't stand it any longer, and they complained to the king. So the king made a special order that the sheep, the thunder, and her son, the ram, the lightning, should leave town and live in the far bush. This did not do much good, as when the ram got angry, he still burnt the forest, and the flames sometimes spread to the farms and destroyed them. So the people complained again, and the king banished both the lightning and the thunder from earth and made them live in the sky, where they could not cause so much destruction. Ever since, when the lightning is angry, he commits damage as before, but you can hear his mother, the thunder, rebuking him and telling him to stop. Sometimes, however, when the mother has gone away for some distance from her naughty son, you can still see that he is angry and doing damage, but his mother's voice cannot be heard. That is the end of that folktale. Wow, so in Nigeria, they have come up with a story for why we see that big flash of lightning that's kind of scary. That's the ram. That's that son that's so angry and wanted to destroy everything. And then his mother, the sheep, the thunder, would call out to him. You know how when it storms and you hear the thunder, it's so loud? In Nigeria, they believe that that is that mother calling out to her naughty son not to do so much damage and not to be so destructive. Wow, that's a really interesting story. I've never thought about it that way. So now whenever I hear a storm, I'm going to think about that naughty son and that mother telling him, hey, you better cut that out and you better stop. So if you guys were going to come up with a folktale, what would you make your folktale about? Maybe you would make one about why it rains or why it gets so hot outside. It can be about anything that you want it to. So I want to know what you guys would write a folktale about. What would you explain? What kind of story would you write? Would it be a happy story? Would it be a sad story? I want to hear what your folktale would be and who the characters are.